Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hari Bol to Bhakti Mataji, Hitesh Prabhu, and Sangeeta Mataji for leading the chanting this morning. Om Ajnanatamidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminatha Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody would like to sing prayer today? Let's try Chaitanya Ashtakam. Nobody? Okay, then I'll continue then. This is again just like Jagannath Ashtakam. So let's go. Sadhu Pasya.
How
Yeah.
can
Nanu, you want to try?
I will try, but can you go for 2-3 lines first?
Yeah, like we sing Jagannath Ashtakam,
Uh-huh.
Sadhu Pasya Shriman Dhritamanujakayi Pranayitam Vahadbhirgirbaణैर् गिरिशपरमेष्ठी प्रभृतिभिः स्वभक्तेभ्यः शुद्धश्म निजभजनमुद्राम् उपदिशन् स चैतन्य किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम्.
So the words are so a little bit complex. I will read the translation, bro.
Okay. सुरेशानां दुर्गं गतिरतिशयेनोपनिषदां मुनीनां सर्वस्वं प्रणतपटलीनां मधुरिमा विनिर्यासः प्रेम्णो निखिलपशुपालं भुजदृशां स चैतन्यः किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् स्वरूपं बिभ्राणो जगदतुलमद्वैतदयितः प्रपन्न श्रीवासो जनितपरमानन्दगरिमा हरिर्दीनोद्धारी गजपतिकृपोत्सेकतरलः स चैतन्यः किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् रसोद्दामाकामार्बुदमधुरधामोज्ज्वलतनुर्यतीनामुत्तंसस्तरणिकरविद्योतिवसनः हिरण्याणां लक्ष्मीभरमभिभवन् आङ्गिकरुच स चैतन्यः किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् हरे कृष्णेत्युच्चैः स्फुरितरसनो नाम गणना कृतग्रन्थिश्रेणी सुभगकटिसूत्रोज्ज्वलकरः विशालाक्षो दीर्घार्गलयुगलखेलाञ्छितभुज स चैतन्यः किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् पयोराशेस्तीरे स्फुरद्युपवनालीकलनया मुहुर्वृन्दारण्य स्मरणजनितप्रेमविवशः क्वचित् कृष्णावृत्ति प्रचलरसनो भक्तिरसिकः स चैतन्यः किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् रथारूढस्याराधधिपदविनीलाचलपतेर्अदभ्रप्रेमोर्मी स्फुरितनटनोल्लासविवशः सहर्षं गायद्भिः परिवृततनुर्वैष्णवजनैः स चैतन्य किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् भुवं सिञ्चन्नश्रुश्रुतिभिरभितसान्द्रपुलकैः परिताङ्गोनीपस्तबकनवकिञ्जल्कजैभिः घनस्वेदस्तोमस्तिमिततनुरुत्कीर्तनसुखी स चैतन्य किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् अधीते गौराङ्गस्मरणपदवीमङ्गलतरम् कृतीयो विश्रम्भ स्फुरदमलधीरष्टकमिदम् परानन्दे सद्यस्तदमलपदाम्भोजयुगले परिस्फारा तस्य स्फुरतु नितरां प्रेमलहरी स चैतन्यः किं मे पुनरपि दृशोर्यास्यति पदम् हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य अष्टकम की जय। श्री रूप गोस्वामी की जय। जगद्गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, you can read the translation, Prabhu. No, Prabhu.
Yes. Hare. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always the most worshipable deity of demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, who came in the grave of ordinary men bearing love for him. He instructs his own pure devotional service to his own devotees. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the protector of the demigods, the supreme goal of the Upanishads, the be all and all of the great sages, the beautiful shelter of his devotees, and the essence of this love of lotus-eyed gopis. Will he again be visible before the path of my eyes? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has manifested his own form, which cannot be compared to anything in the material universe. He is very dear to Advaita Acharya Srivas Pandita. Sri is surrendered to him. He is the very respectful Paramananda Puri. He takes away the ignorance of the material world and delivers the conditioned soul suffering from the threefold misery. He showered his mercy on Maharaja Prataparudra, the king of Odisha. Prataparudra, sorry. His mercy of Maharaja Prataparudra, the king of Odisha. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes maddened by testing the mellows of devotional service. His effulgent form is the abode of sweetness of millions of cupids, and he is the crest jewel of sannyasis. His garment displays the effulgence of the sun, and the splendor of his body eclipses the beauty of gold. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chants the Hare Krishna mantra in loud voice, the holy name dancing on his tongue as he counts the number of recitations on a beautiful noted string held in his effulgent hand. His eyes are large, his long arms bending as he performs his pastimes, reach down to his knees. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the topmost of all devotees. Sometimes, while walking on the beach, he would see a beautiful garden nearby and mistake it for the forest of Vrindavan. He would thus be completely overwhelmed by ecstatic love of Krishna and begin to chant the holy name and dance. His tongue worked incessantly and he chanted, Krishna, Krishna. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced down the main road in the great ecstasy before Lord Jagannatha, the master of Nilachalam, who was sitting on his car, overwhelmed by the transcendental bliss of dancing and surrounded by Vaishnavas who sang the holy names. He manifested waves of ecstatic love of Godhead. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became joyful during the loud chanting of the holy names, and he sprinkled the earth with a shower of tears. All the hairs of his body, standing on an end, appeared like beautiful filaments of fresh kadamba blossoms, and his body glistened with profuse perspiration. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? May the great ocean full of waves of pure love for the two white lotus flowers of the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu become immediately manifested at every moment to whatever pious persons reads these eight most auspicious verses. His pure intelligence shining with the faith as he meditates on Lord Gauranga.
Haribol, Haribol, 10 million Prabhu. So, any verse you want to meditate upon? Prabhu, anything
Yeah.
you want to share?
Interesting, Prabhu. Like, yeah, in this Kali Yuga, getting a great devotee like Sri Chaitanya and the Krishna form, right, is difficult. But yes, if we'll get another form of Krishna like this, then definitely a lot of fallen souls, conditioned souls will be liberated.
Mm. Yes. Yeah, that's why he's called Namo Mahavadanyaya. Krishna Prema Pradayati. Mahavadanyaya is the most magnanimous, most merciful, most compassionate. Like we were saying, Krishna is Bhaktavatsal. Krishna loves his devotees. He's Bhaktavatsal. Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Patit Pavan. He delivers the fallen souls. But Nityananda Prabhu, who's the Adi Guru, who's comes in the form of our spiritual master, is even more merciful because he's a combination of both of them. So Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal, Mahaprabhu is Patit Pavan, but Nityananda Prabhu is Patit Vatsal. So he loves all the fallen souls, right? But he's the one who takes them to Mahaprabhu. And just like we were saying yesterday, when we pray to Radharani, who is our mother, and she will pray to Krishna for us. And when she prays on our behalf to Krishna, Krishna has to listen, right? So if we are able to successfully, convince Mahaprabhu, because he's none other than Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Right? But even before that, if we convince our Guru Maharaj, our Guru Varga, if we are able to please them, because if they are pleased, then they will recommend us to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu will recommend us to Krishna, right? So like that. So it's all in the parampara. Thank you. Okay, let's continue with reading of Lord Kapila. So yesterday, wonderful, again, all these beautiful purports by Srila Prabhupada in the same mood as we just sang this prayer. Yeah, Prabhupada is saying that Krishna comes out of his own causeless mercy, out of his affection, and he comes, all his potencies come. So right, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in this age, and Prabhupada is teaching us that, how can we develop this love of God? Just by hearing. Again, the whole process of our Navada Bhakti starts with Shravanam. Right? All of us, again, we can think, again, when we came to Krishna consciousness, the first time we came, we either heard about it, first thing is we heard, right? We heard about the program, we heard that some devotee is coming, then we went, right? Or we heard directly from Srila Prabhupada's books, right? So we heard from a devotee who gave us a book, like that. So everything starts with Shravanam, from the hearing process. So Prabhupada was saying yesterday that this whole process is Shrinatamsa Katha Krishna. Krishna is sitting in our hearts, and we have a strong desire to walk on this path. Then he, sitting in our heart, purifies our heart just by hearing these nectarian, pastimes of the Lord and his pure devotees. And then we come to the process of Kirtanam, right? Then we start chanting. And with the chanting, we are chanting and hearing as well. Process chant and hear, chant and hear. So it's like Shravanam and Kirtanam, both are going on. And then wonderful, yesterday we also thought about Smaranam. So how we have to constantly remember the Lord. And it will come with practice again. When we do more Shravanam and Kirtanam, automatically when we are hearing, when we are filling ourselves with more Krishna Leela, then eventually we'll be able to remember those Leelas. And as our hearts get purified, as Prabhupada is saying, when we do hear, when we just hear, and when we chant, the first thing that we need to do is we have to cleanse our heart. Only when the heart is cleansed, then this love that is already there in our heart, it's not like we have to manufacture this. It is already there in each one of our hearts. It's just that we have to scrub our hearts to clean our heart, then it will shine. The love of God, it will automatically shine in our hearts. And that simple process for that is hearing and chanting. So that's what we are doing. And this human life's purpose, Prabhupada is saying that it is not just to endeavor for material happiness or endeavor for any bodily needs, because that will already be provided by the Lord. It's already being provided by the Lord for even for big, gigantic species like elephants. What to speak of, us and ants. Everything Lord is providing, food and all the materials needed for the body. But our goal for this human form of life is to understand who we are, understand who is God, understand our relationship with God, and develop our love of God and go back home, back to God. So that is the goal of human life. Okay, let's continue. It was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who said to Rupa Goswami, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. The living entity is wandering up and down from one planet to another, and he is very fortunate if, by the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna himself, he can get the seed of devotional service to Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 19.151. The Krishna consciousness movement is an attempt to make people fortunate. In this age, everyone is unfortunate. Manda Bhagyaha. But now we are trying to reverse the situation. Throughout the world, there are problems everywhere. One country has one type of problem and another country has another. There is strife within governments themselves, and even presidents are fraught with problems. Sometimes we may think we are very fortunate, just as President Nixon was thinking, I am very fortunate, I have become the President of the United States. Then he soon realized that he was the most unfortunate. Actually, this is the situation for everyone. We should not think that the only apprehended culprit is President Nixon and that we are safe. There is a Bengali proverb, dry cow dung is used for fuel. And it is said that when the dry cow dung is being burned, the soft cow dung is laughing, saying, oh, you are being burned, but I am safe. It does not know that when it dries out, it will be thrown into the fire too. We may laugh because President Nixon is in trouble, and we may think ourselves very safe because we have a big bank balance, but actually no one is safe. Eventually, everyone will dry up and be thrown in the fire. That is a fact. We may survive for a few years, but we cannot avoid death. In fact, it is said, as sure as death. And what is the result of death? One loses everything, all honor, money, position, and material life itself. Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 10.34, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. I am the all-devouring death. Krishna comes as death and plunders everything. Bank balance, skyscrapers, wife, children, and whatever. One cannot say, my dear death, please give me some time to adjust. There is no adjustment. One must immediately get out. Foolish people are unaware of the miserable conditions of material life. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 13.9, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. Real knowledge means knowing that however great one may be, the four principles of material life are present: birth, old age, disease, and death. These exist in the highest planetary system, Brahmaloka, and in the lowest, Patal Loka. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido. Na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyada. Tallabhyate dukkhavadanyata sukham kalena sarvatra gavira ramhasa. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet down to the lowest planet. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.18. When Dharamraj asked Maharaj Yudhishthir what the most wonderful thing in the world was, Maharaj Yudhishthir replied, Ahani ahani bhutani kachantiha yamalayam. Every moment people are dying, but those who are living are thinking, my friend has died, but I shall live forever. Mahabharata, Vanaparva 313.116. Soft cow dung thinks the same way. This is typical of conditioned beings. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, is not in this position. It is therefore said, Bhagavan Atma Mayaya. We come onto this planet to enjoy or suffer life for a few days, 50 or 100 years. But Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not come for that purpose. Namam karmani limpanti. It is further stated, Nahya hasya varshamanaha. No one is greater than him. No one is greater than Bhagavan or equal to him. Everyone is inferior. According to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 5.142, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya. There is only one master, Krishna. All others are subservient, beginning with Lord Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Indra, Chandra, and all the demigods. There are 33 million demigods. And the middle and the lower species. Everyone is Bhritya or servant. When Krishna orders, my dear so-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, now please give up your place and leave, one must go. Therefore, everyone is a servant. This is the position of Lord Brahma and the ant as well. Yasva Indra Gopam Athavendram Aho Swakarma. From Lord Indra to Indra Gopa, an insignificant insect, everyone is reaping the consequences of his karma. We are creating our own karma and our next body in this life. In this life, we enjoy or suffer the results of our past karma. And in the same way, we are creating further karma for our next body. Actually, we should work in such a way that we will not get another material body. How can this be done? We simply have to try to understand Krishna. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. This sounds very simple, but actually understanding Krishna is very difficult. If we become devotees of Krishna, understanding Krishna is easy. However, if we try to understand him by jnana, karma, or yoga, we will be frustrated. There are many types of yogis, but he who is devoted to Krishna is the topmost yogi. Sri Krishna is far above all yogic processes. In India, there are many yogis who can display some magical feats. They can walk on water, make themselves very light or very heavy, and so forth. But what is this compared to Krishna's yogic mystic powers? By his potencies, great planets are floating in space. Who can manage to float even a small stone in the air? Sometimes a yogi may show a little mystic power by manufacturing some gold, and we are so foolish that we accept him as God. However, we forget that the real yogi, the Supreme Lord himself, has created millions of gold mines and is floating them in space. Those who are Krishna conscious are not befooled by yogis who claim to be Bhagavan. A Krishna conscious person wants only to serve the foremost yogi, Yogeshwara, Varimna Sarva Yogi Nam. Because we are trying to become his devotees, we accept the Supreme Lord Yogeshwar as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. States in Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyashmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato nyatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. This process is actually very simple. One must first of all realize that the first problem is the conquest of death. Presently, we consider death compulsory, but actually it is not. One may be put into prison, but actually prison is not compulsory. It is due to one's work that one becomes a criminal and is therefore put in jail. It is not compulsory for everyone to go to jail. As living entities, we have our proper place in Vaikuntha Loka. Parastasmatu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati avyakto kshara ituktas tam ahu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. There is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. That supreme abode is called unmanifested and infallible, and it is the supreme destination. When one goes there, he never comes back. That is my supreme abode. Bhagavad Gita 8.20 and 21. Everything is present in Vaikuntha Loka. There we can have an eternal blissful life full of knowledge, Sat Chit Ananda. It is not compulsory for us to rot in this material world. The easiest way to go to Vaikuntha Lokas is Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatvatah. Simply try to understand Krishna. Why does he come? What are his activities? Where does he come from? Why does he come in the form of a human being? We only have to try to understand this and study Krishna as he explains himself in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the difficulty? God personally explains himself as he is, and if we accept Bhagavad Gita as it is, we shall no longer have to transmigrate. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti. We shall no longer have to endure birth and death, for we can attain our spiritual bodies, Satchidananda Vigraha, and live happily in Krishna's family. Krishna is providing for us here, and he will also provide for us there. So we should know that our happiness is in returning home back to Godhead, where we can eat, drink, and be merry in Krishna's company. Hare Krishna. Okay, we can read a couple of paragraphs for this. Chapter 3. How to understand the Lord's activities. Text 3. Yad yad vidate bhagavan swachandat matma mayaya tani me shraddadhanasya kirtanyan anukirtaya. Therefore, please precisely describe all the activities and pastimes of the Lord, of the personality of Godhead, who is full of self-desire and who assumes all these activities by his internal potency. The word Anukirtaya is very significant. Anukirtaya means to follow the description, not to create a concocted mental description, but to follow. Shaunaka Rishi requested Suta Goswami to describe what he had actually heard from his spiritual master Shukadeva Goswami about the transcendental pastimes that the Lord manifested by his internal energy. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no material body, but he can assume any kind of body by his supreme will. That is made possible by his internal energy. We can understand the pastimes of the Lord by following one or some of the authorized devotional processes. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Hearing, chanting, and remembering the holy name, form, pastimes, qualities, and entourage of the Lord, offering service according to the time, place, and performer, worshipping the deity, offering prayers, always considering oneself the eternal servant of Krishna, making friends with him, and dedicating everything unto him. These are the 9 processes of devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. There are 9 basic processes of devotional service: hearing and chanting about the Supreme Lord, remembering him, serving his lotus feet, worshipping him, offering prayers to the Lord, acting as his servant, becoming his friend, and surrendering everything to him. The beginning is Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. One must be very eager to hear and chant. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 9.14, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, the great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Haribol. Okay, let's pause here. Let's pause. Let's start with devotion, we'll pause on devotion, and we'll end with devotion. Haribol. Okay, so yes, Prabhupada is saying a lot of nice things again. This is, whenever we read, like this is perfect because Prabhupada's small books, they are the amalgamation of everything. There is Bhagavad Gita, there is Srimad Bhagavatam, there is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we get dose of everything in these small books of Srila Prabhupada. So that is why we are building our foundation by reading these books. Because when we read this and then when we go to Bhagavad Gita, to Bhagavatam, Chaitanya, of course we can read them parallelly, but the point is, like one thing that I've learned reading these small books is like, you get so much of depth and knowledge, and the internal mood of Srila Prabhupada is visible in all of his purports. No matter, it's like you taste mango, wherever you bite, you'll feel the same nectar, right? So whether you read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, or you read these small books of Prabhupada, everything is there. Everything is there. So it's as sweet and nectarian as anything. So it's beautiful. And yes, like Prabhupada is teaching us that our eternal place is there in Vaikuntha Loka. All of us, I was remembering that picture I think Pawan Prabhuji shared yesterday in the WhatsApp group. Krishna sitting with his gopas and on the tree, and all the gopis carrying the makhan and the pots. So it's like, our place, eternal place is there in Vaikuntha Loka. Prabhupada is reminding us, all of us have our eternal place, even though there are Ananta Jiva, like we were describing yesterday. Still it's so wonderful to know that all of us have our eternal place in Vaikuntha, in the Goloka. And we just have to find our way back home, back to Godhead, so that we can enjoy those transcendental pastimes with the Lord. So it's so wonderful. And there are different processes, like I was teaching it, like Krishna is the supreme, Ekale Ishwar Krishna Rasabhritya, Yari Aishanachai, Satarikai, Taichikare Nitya. So as Krishna makes everybody dance, they're dancing. But the yogis, the different yogis, like that pastime I was remembering again, that Prabhupada, this is from 1974 he's talking, but in 1976, 77 when he visits the Kumbh Mela, there are Prabhupada's disciples, and Prabhupada standing on the bank of the Ganges in Rishikesh trying to cross the river, and then there is a group of followers of this yogi who come, and then the yogi actually just walks on the river. He crosses the river, right? And then Prabhupada's disciples who are that side of near those, they're asking, "Oh, we heard your guru is from an international guru. Return. See our yogi Baba, he can walk on the river. Can your guru do that?" So then when Prabhupada's disciples come and tell Prabhupada says, I don't want to waste 50 years of my life, which is worth, what he did is worth 2 rupees, right? Because it's just at that time it was taking 2 rupees to cross the river by a boat. And Prabhupada says, for 2 rupees worth of thing, I don't want to waste 50 years of my life, right? So we don't do that. So point was very clear from Prabhupada that yes, we are not endeavoring just to get some material siddhis, something to walk on water or to become lighter than the lighters, etc. Those siddhis automatically come to a devotee because, like Prabhupada is explaining, the devotee of the Lord is a first class yogi. So those siddhis actually come with their hands folded behind, running behind a devotee. But a devotee doesn't want those siddhis because our goal is very clear. That our goal is the lotus feet of the Lord. We want to have the Lord, not his energies, right? So even though pure devotees will have siddhis, they don't publicly display those siddhis. But we know there are many pastimes, wonderful pastimes of Prabhupada and his disciples where we see that power. Like even yesterday in the reading, we were seeing that sometimes Krishna's devotees are even more powerful than the Lord himself, and that is the Lord's concession. Krishna is so merciful that he gives everything. He gives himself to his devotees, and what to speak of his energies, right? So the devotees have everything that Krishna has because the Lord himself personally gives all those things to the devotees. But the devotees don't publicly flaunt those material siddhis, right? Because the goal is not to flaunt them and make a show, right? Because we are not trying to attract followers on the basis of those cheap siddhis. Because this is the process of bhakti. Bhakti is pure, right? So it's not covered with any other material elements. So this is also like a filtering criteria, right? Because if a pure devotee of the Lord is always happy and blissful, imagine everybody will become a bhakta, right? Everybody will say, oh, they are very happy, they're so successful, they are so blissful, let me also do this, right? But this is not so cheap, right? This is not just a matter of show off that everybody can, just for the sake of, even though they're impure in their heart. Of course, we all were impure in our heart, but at least we had a desire, right? That's why we have to start with Shraddha, we have to start with some faith on the Lord, on his devotees. Then that sincere endeavor, when we have that sincerity in our heart, then the Lord sends a pure bona fide guru in our lives, and with that we can start our sadhu sangha and then bhajana kriya. But again, if every devotee of the Lord is blissful and materially wealthy and has all these siddhis and they're showing off all these things, then everybody will get attracted, right? So Krishna doesn't want that, right? So that is why there is this filter criteria. So apparently, from the outside, we may see that the devotees of the Lord are suffering. They are in so much pain, bodily, physically, materially, right? But still, one who is a pure devotee, they will never leave the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, right? You have seen many examples. Sudama, right, being such a pure devotee, but he was so poor, he didn't even have food to eat, right? But he never left his friend Krishna. So like that, even today, in today's day and age, we see there are so many sadhus, so many devotees. Materially they may be so not well to do, but in the heart, core of their heart, their love for the Lord is ever manifest. So this is a filter criteria which filters away people who are not genuine for Krishna. Okay, wonderful. Yes. Anybody else would like to share anything? Any other thoughts, reflections? Adi Guru Prabhu, I've not heard you for some time. Anything else you want to share, Prabhu? You're busy, I don't know, you may be traveling or at work. Okay, anything else? Yes, Adi Guru Prabhu, you came off mute.
Prabhu, thank you so much. You're right. Just trying to get out of house for work. But thank you so much for sharing. Your words are like, nectar. You when you speak, it looks almost like Prabhupada is speaking through you. So thank you so much. Um, Yesterday, what you emphasized today about hearing, that we have heard from some place as a beginning process, that is so true. Most of our journey starts with a book. And yesterday, Aditya Narayan Prabhu and Vishwanath Prabhu organized a talk about how we can do more book distribution as a congregation, because that will be very, very important in spreading Krishna consciousness at least to people in Cincinnati, that we can do. Srila Prabhupada has written the books for everybody, but what we can do at the minimum is try to take those books and make it available for people. So that will be the next goal. So hopefully we are planning to start something that the whole congregation can participate in book distribution. So thank you so much, Prabhu.
Jai. Very well, very nice. Yes. Yeah, and book distribution is our family business, as Aditya Prabhu had told us right back then. Yes, like Ashishika Prabhu's book, as a family business. So this is our only business that we should try to expand. That was Prabhupada's internal desire, fulfilling the desire of a spiritual master, as these books are Brihad Mridanga. And I was also thinking, like, again, we've heard this also from Prabhupada's disciples, and yeah, so book distribution again is at different levels, right? So if you think when Prabhupada was around, his internal mood and desire was to first of all publish these books, right? So all Prabhupada disciples, they were sincerely helping Srila Prabhupada in publishing these books, translating these books, right? So, so that was also one form of book distribution, because you're actually publishing, you're translating. After Prabhupada departed, Prabhupada's sincere disciples, we see so much has been done in the past 50 years. We've distributed, maybe hundreds of millions of books now, all over the world. So that was also another form of book. That is kind of the pure process of pure distribution, a pure way of book distribution, right? Where you're actually going out door to door and distributing the books. So yeah, publishing books, printing books, translating books, that was one level of book distribution. Then the actual physically handing out books is also a form of book distribution. And then actually opening the book and reading the books, this is also a form of book distribution. So it's like, it's a generation. From generation, the parampara is happening, right? But all these things are book distribution. And yeah, we should engage in whatever way, form, we can. Like we said, if we can help in, if there is some new language in the world, which Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these books of Prabhupada are not there, and we should see if we know that language, and we can help in translations. And physically, yes, going out door to door, giving these books, because this is where everything starts. Yeah, like you said. So, handing these books, and then seeing, yeah, again, we want to make sure that the books are not just kept as it is at home, right? We want to. It's like who was saying the other day, it's like our books are just kept, very presentable manner in many of the devotees' homes, right? If you go, sometimes the books are just there, fully nicely wrapped in cover. They've not even been opened. Once I remember, we were in Atlanta, Janardhan Maharaj was there, and he was at one of the devotees' homes here. The books were nicely packed, everything was just nicely wrapped, and we saw that. He said, yes, we have to open these wrappers and we have to actually read these books, not just keep them, right? So yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, anybody else would like to say anything? All right, if not, then we'll pause here. Thank you for your wonderful, kind association with Srila Prabhupada on this journey of our morning japa and reading. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha anantakoti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Teachings of Lord Kapila ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Have a great day, everyone. Hare Krishna.